Hello, fifth graders. Tuesday. It's Tuesday already. All right, so you should have finished up the snow cone prep test yesterday. I think you're all done. I'm going to check in with Miss Lindsay and Miss Smith. Probably collected all the proof paper. So it looks like Friday I'm going to bring the popsicles by for Miss Lindsay's class, and I'm planning on Thursday for Miss Smith's class. I'm just trying to figure out the timing on that, okay? So I'll bring it by and play a game with you guys, and we'll enjoy our popsicles and celebrate all of the stuff that we accomplished this year, especially in math, okay? So now, what I was trying to get to yesterday is why we're going to call week 36 New Beginnings. Because now we're going to transition for these last 12 days. Like, I know there's like 3 weeks left in actual time. That's why it's weird. But to say that there's only 12 days left to school, well, I can get in 12 sixth grade math lessons. So we're going to kind of go back to the old routine with a problem of the day, being able to have a doodle of the day some days, and then get into some little bit of class work to do and a little bit of introduction to sixth grade math. Now, nothing to fear. It's not any harder than fifth grade math. It's just sixth grade math because then you're in sixth grade. So it should be easy. Today we're going to talk about fractions, percents, and has anybody ever eaten at In-N-Out Burger? What is your favorite thing at In-N-Out? Mine, double animal style, no tomato. And vanilla shake, and extra fries. Sometimes I go animal style fries, but that's getting insane, okay? So, yeah, we're going to get into percent, turning fractions to percents today, and decimals. Well, actually, introduction to percent. So you're like, wow, what's going on? Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. So let's dive into the problem of the day. Here's our problem of the day. What is each of these written as a decimal? So if I have 1/2, what is that as a decimal? I'm going to give you a clue, and then you can pause the video. $1/2 of a dollar. You see 1/4 right there? What's 1/4 of a dollar? Think of what it takes 4 of to make a dollar. And then 3/4 of a dollar. So go ahead and do that, and we'll dive over here and check out what the answers are. Okay. So let's set up our notebook first. You probably didn't do this yet, since I just had you start with the problem of the day. So let's put fractions, decimals, and percents. And today's date is 5/18/21. May 18th. And then you know how we usually make the middle section really big and the side section skinny? Today we're going to try to make them all even. So this is going to be kind of weird, but try to go like this. Maybe the middle one a little bit thicker. But see, you see how they're almost all uniform? Usually we put these way over to the sides because we don't write in them much, but we're actually going to write in all 3 sections today. And then let's go down, dive down for the doodle of the day. I should just wrote DOD. I don't know what I'm doing. See, I'm rusty. All right, so our problem of the day was our POD was 1/2, 1/4, and 3/4. So think of how much is $1/2 of a dollar? You could say you have $1/2 of a dollar, or you could say you have how much? Yep, 50 cents. 1/4 is also known as a quarter. Okay, because think of like in a basketball game or a football game, there's 4 quarters. Or in a dollar, there's 4 quarters make a dollar. So 1/4 would be how much? Think of a quarter. How much money? 25 cents. So if you know 1/4 is 25 cents, then how much would 3/4 be? Yep, 75 cents. My point of showing you this problem of the day is to let you know that fractions and decimals are very similar. They're the same thing. It's just a different way to represent a half. And then there's going to be another thing called a percent. If we wanted to turn this into percent, let me switch to green. Watch how easy this is. If you got half of your questions on your test right, you'd get 50%. If you got a quarter right, you get 25%. And if you got 3/4 right, you get 75% right. Now you see, as long as your decimal goes into the 1/100th place, remember 1/10, 1/100th. This is how 5th grade math builds on 6th grade math. So 5th grade math taught you that this is 75/100ths. You see that? 75/100ths. Well, once you have hundreds, percent is always out of 100, which we'll take notes on in a second, so you get 75%. Now, if that was confusing, it's okay. Let's dive down to the doodle of the day, and I actually have a video for you for the doodle of the day. So let's X out of this, pop into here. I'll play it a couple of times for you so you can see how to draw this. Here we go.
Cute and easy doodles, I know you can draw. Part 3. Let's go draw an elephant. Even if you're not an artist, you can draw this elephant. Start with a rectangle in the center of your page, and then draw a J and a U on the left side. Draw along the rectangle that you already made on the top and right side. Then outline your J. Draw a line down that ends in an L in the back as well, 2 more L's and you've got your complete elephant feet. Finish the ear and tail, add some little toenails, last but not least the face, and drop a fallout.
Okay, so that was pretty fast. Let's try that again. Sorry, I have something printing over there. And I'll update you on the print in a second too. Okay, so let's play it one more time. And then you guys could show off your drawings to Miss Lindsay and Miss Smith.
Cute and easy doodles, I know you can draw. Part 3. Let's go draw an elephant. Even if you're not an artist, you can draw this elephant. Start with a rectangle in the center of your page, and then draw a J and a U on the left side. Draw along the rectangle that you already made on the top and right side. Then outline your J. Draw a line down that ends in an L in the back as well, 2 more L's and you've got your complete elephant feet. Finish the ear and tail, add some little toenails, last but not least the face, and drop a fallout.
Oh, I missed it.
And easy doodles, I know.
Sorry, I missed it.
Part 3. Let's go draw an elephant. Even if
I missed it right before it paused. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed your doodle of the day. All right, let's dive back over here to get some notes. Okay, so the big thing that 6th grade is going to introduce is something called percents, okay? So up here, this is what I want you to write. Write the word percent. You probably most know it from like tests. Like on the test I got, think of back when we did spelling tests, I got 100%, I got 80%. Well, you're going to learn today what that means. So percent is always, let's put a star by this. Percent is always out of 100. Now that's going to matter when we have to make fractions and decimals. So percent is out of 100. Let you get that down. Then let's review our place values quick. Let's go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There are 2 questions on your snow cone test about this. What is the only place value here I've ever asked you to memorize? That's right, the 1/10. The place behind the decimal to the right. Well, if that's the 1/10, then that's going to be the 1/100th. And this place value right here, 5th graders, is the one we're trying to get to. Because if we have a number that goes into the 100ths, then we automatically have a percent. It'll make more sense in a second, okay? All right. So let's make 3 columns here. Let's use our first column to write fraction. Our second column, this middle column, let's call this decimal. And our third column, let's call this percent. So I'm going to show you how we can go between the 3 of these depending on our needs. How you make a fraction into a decimal to a percent to a decimal to a fraction, and so on. Okay, so let's look back to our problem of the day. Let's do 1/2. So if we have 1/2 as a fraction, what is it as a decimal? Well, it's 50 cents. Now, if you have 50 cents, does that go into the 100th place? It does. So therefore, if we ever have hundredths, remember, because percent's always out of 100, then we already have our percent, 50%. Okay, let's try another one. Not too bad, right? Let's try our 1/4. What was that one again? 1/4 is also called 1/4. So if we have 25, we already have hundredths, so then we have 25%. Well, what happened? Oh, wait, here's one. 7/10. If you get 7 out of 10 on, what is this as a decimal? Well, let's write it as a decimal. Here's the decimal. We have 1/10, remember, and 1/100. And you have 7 in the 1/10. There it is. There it is as a decimal, right? 7/10. Done. But here's the trick. How do we make it into a percent? Well, we have to have it out of 100. So if there's nothing in this, what can we put? We can put a 0, and now we have 70%. Okay? All right, I want you guys to try one. What if we had 4/10? Can you write that as a decimal and a percent? Well, what would we have? We'd have 4 in the 1/10 place, right? That's it. That's the decimal. Now, for the percent, we would need to put a 0 here so that it goes into the hundredths, and we'd get 40%. Whoops, this one is supposed to be percent. I don't know why I wrote decimal again. All right, but now we're going to get into something a little trickier. Remember I talked about going to in and out? Let me make my lines again. You probably have more space on your paper. I ran out of space, so give me a second. This was fraction, decimal. Mr. Merrifield, we can't see it. Percent. Okay. What if we have one, though, like this? 5/8. Well, now we have a problem. Because think of decimals, right? When we have our decimal, we have 1/10 and we have 1/100. But do we have anything called the eighths place? Is there eighths? There is not eighths. So what do you do if you have a fraction and it doesn't easily turn into a decimal? That's where we're going to put a big star again. You have to take it to in and out. Take it to in and out burger. Remember how I have a lot of funny sayings to help you remember? If you ever want to turn a fraction into a decimal or percent and you don't know how to do it, take it to in and out. What does that mean? It means that we're going to do a division problem. This number is going to go in. This number is going to go out. Remember how earlier in 5th grade, I said that the easiest problem in 5th grade was knowing what this really says. This says 5 divided by 8. Let's do our long division. Okay. 5 divided by 8. Now that's going to be weird because you're like, wait, the bigger numbers on the outside, smaller numbers on the inside? Correct. A little bit strange. So now we have a long division problem. Now here's the key. Here's another star. Always add a decimal and 2 zeros. What does that mean? Always add a decimal and 2 zeros. So let's back up. We're taking 5/8, we're making it into a decimal. What did we do? We took it to in and out. So I set it up as in and out. Now we have to add a decimal. Add a decimal, I just did, and 2 zeros. And now we're just going to divide. So how many 8s go into 5? 0. Does McDonald's sell burgers Sundays? 0 times 8 is 0. Subtract, you get 5. What do you do after you subtract? Bring down and start over. Okay? Now remember, from our flashcards, which we didn't practice that much, if you have a decimal division problem, the decimal goes straight up. The decimal just goes right there. How many 8s are in 50? 6. 6 times 8 is 48. Subtract, you get 2. Bring down your 0. How many 8s go into 20? 2. 2 times 8 is 16. You get 4, and you could keep going. Remainder 4, add another 0, bring it down. But let's take a look here. Remember how we have to get to the hundredths? So look what we have now. We have tenths and hundredths, so we have our decimal, 62. So 5/8 is what is a decimal? Well, we took it to in and out, and we got 62 hundredths. Now that we have hundredths, we also have the percent, 62%. Now that is weird. 62. Let's try one more, and then you'll have one to try with Miss Smith and Miss Lindsay, and you'll have a little bit of prompts to do as your homework, okay? Let's try 9. 9 what? 9, nah, let's not do that. That might be too hard for this first one. Let's do 3/6. Okay, 3/6. What is it as a decimal? And what is it as a percent? Some of you may know what the decimal is already, just by because you know how much that is. But let's actually do it by taking it to in and out. Okay, so let's do one more together, and then you guys can try one on your own. So let's take this to in and out. So in and out. In and out. Put a decimal and 2 zeros. Decimal, 2 zeros. Okay, how many 6's go into 3? 0. 0 times 6 is 0. Subtract, you get 3. Bring down, remember, always only one number at a time. How many 6's go into 30? 5. 5 times 6 is 30. Now, it looks like our problem is over, right? Decimal 5. But we want it to go to the hundredths. So let's bring that last 0 down. How many 6's go into 0? 0. And you have your number. 3/6 is 50 cents, right? Because isn't that half? That's 1/2. And 50 cents, because it goes into the 100ths, is just 50%. Okay? Here is a couple you guys can try in class before you try to do your homework in Google Classroom or your classwork in Google Classroom. Why don't you try, what do? We already did 5/8. Let's do 3/9. Try that one. And try 7/8. Try to find those as a decimal and a percent. All right, let me show you what's going on with Iron Man now. To end the video, let's zoom back. I think I just go like that. Yes, there I am. Okay. So what I did this morning, it's not going to be that drastic, but I'm starting to put the helmet together now. I actually super glued the face shield. I'm going to start working on the eyes and the magnet helmet and everything to put it all together. So there you go. All right, 5th graders, have a great day.